things that destroy 80% of relationships. So wives, husbands, listen, partners beware. I have chosen 3 key ones today. First, assuming your partner has an uncomplicated life. Imagine a standard scenario that I have been in many times myself. You and your partner have an appointment with mutual friends at 5 p.m. You are supposed to pick her up at 4:30 p.m. and then drive to their place together. You're late, it's 4:45, and you haven't picked her up yet. Pissed off like a wasp, of course, because you will be late together even though she was ready on time. Like any stereotypically raised woman, she has a strong need to be seen as decent, and suddenly her image of a brilliantly organized woman suffers because of your tardiness. What is going on in her mind that sometimes comes out in the form of an argument? That this lateness is a problem with you, that you are always like this and never so respectful of others' needs and time. That you are rude, simple-minded, disorganized. It would always be the fault of the circumstances, the fact that she had a difficult day, she had to iron a top that she had washed earlier because the cat threw up, and so on and so forth. However, the man sitting in the car would be angry about her lateness and would blame it on her character. That the princess always thinks of herself first and then of others, that she never prepares in advance. As you can see, the situation is symmetrical. Both parties can think this way. That is, the mistake in which we assume that our life is complicated, full of nuances, while the life of our partner, as well as others, is simple as a wire, trivial. I was late because of complex circumstances and a series of accidents. He was late because he is a rude bum who does not care about the needs of others. The same may be true in connection with the judgment of procrastination. I procrastinate because it is a complex psychological problem with deeply held negative beliefs about myself. My partner, on the other hand, sees it as laziness and carelessness, a trait inseparable from me. So do not hesitate to subscribe to our channel. It's the only way to let YouTube know that our content is valuable. As you can see, the first thing, and how big, putting a different measure to judge the actions of our partner. For ourselves, we are more forgiving, less willing to whip ourselves for our mistakes, while the mistakes of the partner are simply due to how he is. If I'm in a bad mood and show it, it's probably because a lot of little events along the way contributed to it. My partner, on the other hand, may perceive me as spiteful or abusive for no reason at all. It's worth noticing the person in your partner. In fact, I would say that it is essential to the longevity of your relationship. Giving each other space to explain and understand is essential. The second relationship killer is indifference. There is probably nothing more dangerous to a relationship than indifference. When one partner stops caring, they stop trying. Consider the standard scenario. 2 people fall in love. In the early stages of the relationship, they take care of each other, huffing and puffing about everything, so that neither of them happens to feel uncomfortable. But as time passed, the man became indifferent. He treated the relationship as something that was a given forever, so he showed less interest in what the partner was doing. When she spoke to him, he often glanced at his phone, and instead of spending time together, he preferred long sessions on the computer. The partner noticed this change and began to share her observations and concerns. He quickly brushed it off, saying that he was having a worse time, that he was overworked. However, this indifference made her feel unloved and rejected. This killed any intimacy in their relationship and drove the partners further apart. To the man's surprise, she finally decided to end the relationship. Indifference slowly creeps in, along with the conviction that the relationship is forever and taken for granted, so nothing will change it. It is well known that marriage vows or a general sense of loyalty leave plenty of room for bad times, but not for constant indifference. Indifference is a relationship killer. The third relationship killer is contempt. It starts the same way as the first one, by attributing negative qualities to the partner and nurturing negative beliefs about the other. And how does it grow from there? It begins with eye-rolling, heavy sighing, belittling everything the partner says, and finally contempt. For example, consider a couple where each person has their own hobbies. Mark collects and paints figures for tabletop combat games and meets with friends once or twice a month to play a few skirmishes. He also collects related books. Carol enjoys yoga classes. gardening in the summer, and reading romance novels in the winter. In a word, everyone has their own thing. At first it's divine, because everyone gives each other space. But when indifference creeps into the relationship and the partner is accused of all sorts of terrible mistakes. It can happen that before the next fight, Mark runs away to his workshop to calm down a bit. However, the next time he runs from a confrontation, he may hear from her that it's just him and his stupid painters and his bodies again. Carol may have tossed this out there in emotion, but she hit the most sensitive point. Treating a large part of Mark's life with disrespect and contempt, she hit where it hurts the most. In response, she might hear, "Then go do your ridiculous yoga with those shallow people. You don't even have anything to talk to because I can't listen to you anymore." Sounds like an argument and a typical exchange of pleasantries in a relationship. Well, it sounds familiar. But both partners are hitting roughly below the belt, treating with contempt what they individually put a lot of heart and attention into. For the sake of argument, they are trying to hurt each other. And in the beginning it works, because it hurts a lot. This contempt can extend not only to hobbies, but to literally everything. To friends, to shopping, to how the household budget is managed, to family near and far, even to whether a yoga mat or a display of the prettiest army of figurines can be placed in a shared living room. In general, contempt creates a hostile environment. A hostile environment makes it very easy to forget what brought two people together in the first place. The erosion of the relationship happens in an instant. These three things. First, assuming that what the partner does wrong is done to spite us and as a result of a bad character. Second, indifference to the partner and his or her needs. And finally, third, contempt. These are the things that cause most relationships to fall apart. And sometimes it is enough to bite your tongue instead of hitting where it hurts. Just stop thinking only about I want, I hurt, I need, I hurt, and look for the common we need, we want. Then it will be much easier to jump over these natural reflexes. Thanks for spending time with us. Subscribe for more.